It's time in Texas.
Saddle up. Time to unleash the horses at Texas Motor Speedway for the SpeedyCash.com 220. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, race number 11 of the season. Great to have you with us, along with Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. I'm Vince Welch. It's the 5th time we've been on a mile-and-a-half track this season, and so far Kyle Busch Motorsports is 4 for 4. John Hunter Nemechek, the winner at Las Vegas. Kyle Busch has won a couple on the mile-and-a-half, Atlanta and Kansas. And then John Hunter, again, most recently at Charlotte. KBM has led 70% of the laps on the mile-and-a-half. So will that KBM dominance continue today? Brad, what do you say we try to speak with John Hunter?
Let's do it. How about it, John Hunter? This is Brad Keselowski in the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Absolutely. Well, there's nobody hotter right now in the Truck Series. You're having a career season, and man, I got to tell you, you're fun to watch. But my teammate Joey Logano up here in the booth says that you might take the top for the start. I told him he's crazy. What are you thinking? How are you going to deal with the PJ1 at the start of this race?
Yeah, Joey would be the one to say that. I don't know. It's definitely going to be tricky. I know that there's some matrix that they sent out, some information that may change a little bit of a thought process for later in the race, but I tell you, I don't want to be the first one in it.
I hear that. Hear that. Well, good luck to you today. You're doing a great job. We wish you the best here in the booth.
Thank you, guys.
Brad, that was supposed to be a joke.
I think John
he took
Hunter
it literal.
It's always funnier when it's said from the booth, right? Not so funny when you got the wheel in your hand. John Hunter and Ben Rhodes have combined to win 5 times this season, and they'll start us off from the front row. And, of course, on row 2, Todd Gilliland feels like a weight has been lifted off his shoulders after he got that win at COTA. Austin Hill, he's been terrific on the mile-and-a-halfs this season, but still waiting for that first win of the campaign. He and Stuart Friesen back in row 3. And Zane Smith, a couple of the Smith boys, Zane Smith and Chandler Smith, and both of those drivers as well, looking for something good to happen. Derek Kraus and Drew Dollar still hoping to be contenders today. And we've got 36 drivers in the field, and we'll show you the rest of those there on the bottom of the screen. Couple of Cup guys in it as well, boys.
Absolutely. You got Chase Elliott there in the 24, getting a couple extra laps while he's down. He's got a short race tomorrow. Why not run another one today and see what that traction compound is going to be like? Probably a good race to run.
Yeah, got a new sponsor on his truck, too. But I'm looking also at Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain, the other Cup driver in the field. We talked about 2 of them, both starting in the middle of the pack. They're going to have their hands full at the start of this race, no doubt.
Yeah, looking forward to having a couple of the Cup guys with us today in the Truck Series. Let's go down and check in with our pit reporters, Jamie Little and Regan Smith. We'll begin with Regan.
Well, good afternoon, Vince. A warm afternoon here in Texas. You know, the last time that we were at the racetrack in Charlotte, Sheldon Creed had an extremely fast truck, but unfortunately, a caution and a wreck relegated him to a 35th place finish. Not all was lost in that race, so that was a brand new truck a couple weeks ago. The truck that they ran had a bunch of new components in that race vehicle. He felt great about where it was, said we are back to where we used to be, when even if I don't like the handling, I have very good speed. Big things ahead for that 2 team. They feel like they're back in championship form once again. Jamie Little?
Well, Regan, one driver who needs a good run today, in fact, he needs a win, is Johnny Sauter. And the last time we saw Johnny Sauter was 2 weeks ago, the last race for the Truck Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A huge wreck at the end. Right there, Johnny Sauter plows into him. Thankfully, he was able to walk away unscathed. Now, the good news for this 13 team, though, they have dominated this race many times at Texas Motor Speedway as 5-time winners. Now, they brought back a truck and a setup that have gone to victory lane at this very track. They're hoping luck turns around today and they get back to their winning ways. Vince?
Well, then it would be right on time, Jamie, because as we look at the playoff standings, you'll see that Johnny Sauter is currently on the playoff bubble. And as Joey Logano was mentioning just a short while ago, Joey and Brad, I mean, it is tight around that red cut line.
It is super tight, and all it takes is someone outside that you don't expect to win to jump up there, and it changes this whole playoff outlook a lot. 5 races doesn't sound like a lot. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things can happen in one lap here at Texas.
Yeah, I'm looking at these drivers, Austin Wayne Self, Chandler Smith, Tyler Ankrum, and thinking, oh boy, you know, their stomach's in a knot right now. Not much time left to get in the playoffs, but they are right there. A lot of pressure on these guys today.
And keep in mind, Tyler Ankrum, you see him 13th there, 17 points behind the cut line. He's made up 48 points in the last 2 weeks. And counting today, we've got 5 races to go. So if you think Haley Deegan is out of it at minus 42 or Carson Hocevar is completely safe at plus 45, not necessarily the case, because Ankrum in the last 2 weeks, it's been a 48-point swing for him. So a lot can happen here in these remaining races. Camping World track description at a mile and a half, and well, you guys know mile and a half racetracks, we see a lot of them, but they're all unique in some way, shape, or form.
Now this one's plenty unique from end to end for sure. 1 and 2 being very flat. Got a lift out of the gas some. 3 and 4. I call this the longest straightaway in NASCAR, not Pocono, because you were on the gas off of turn 2 all the way through 3 and 4. You're not lifting for the most part all the way back to get to turn 1. So that run you get off of turn 2 is going to carry for a mile and a half before you come out of the gas again.
Our race analysis, there you see 147 laps, just over 220 miles. And our stages, the first 2 stages will be 35 laps apiece. And that finals stage at 77 laps, our pit window. And each team will get 4 sets of tires, the 1 on truck and 3 laying in pit lane.
You know, Brad, we've been talking about how this traction compound is going to be a little slick here to start. I'd be just as nervous if I'm the car on the bottom, because the outside guy is going to be pinning that truck to the white line. You're not going to have any air on your door because that driver is trying to stay out of the traction compound until it comes in. So it's going to be a pretty crazy first couple laps. You're going to see some cars get loose probably, and this will be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, eyes wide open. This is going to be a big start.
John Hunter Nemechek and Ben Rhodes on the front row. John Hunter down on the inside and Ben Rhodes on the outside, getting ready for the green, and it is out. We're racing at Texas. Side by side through 1, not much shifting through the field.
And this is where it always gets interesting. Down the backstretch, you see the runs already 3 wide. They're going to settle it out a little bit to 2 wide before they get into turn 3.
That was Austin Hill getting around Hocevar and moving alongside Gilliland.
Hocevar wisely backed out. There's no reason to be 3 wide on the first lap when you know the track is just this treacherous.
Gilliland up in that traction compound a little bit. We'll see how it treats him.
Oh, Nemechek slid up into it. It's going to cost him a lead here as Ben Rhodes with a big run down the bottom here on the backstretch.
Nemechek trying to recover, still side by side for the lead.
You see that momentum on the top side. Now they're just flirting with it. I say they're flirting with that traction compound, seeing what it can do, just touching it, saying, is it grippy or is it slick? It doesn't look very slick. It looks like it's actually probably going to come in here fairly quickly, as you see Todd Gilliland already, with his right sides in it as well.
Yeah, these drivers are running really smart race. I'll give them a lot of credit. To start here, no practice, track in a slick condition. This is a great start for these guys.
Austin Hill and Todd Gilliland side by side for 3rd. Hill still looking for that first win of the season. The mile and a half's right in their wheelhouse, but they haven't been able to score that win yet. They feel like this is a golden opportunity for them to get win number 1 of the campaign, and Gilliland slips into that 4th spot. Stuart Friesen starting to creep up to challenge.
Yeah, Gilliland's working the edge of that PJ1 really hard here. It's cost him a few spots, but he has a plan here, I can tell.
Yeah, if you can be the first one to get it working, you usually can get those spots back fairly quickly. If you can get it working, that's a big if. And I tell you what right now, when you're up in that and you're the first one there, it is a nerve-wracking feeling because you're just like waiting for the car to step out on you, and it happens really quick when it does.
Yeah, you feel like you're driving off the edge of a cliff right there. You're right on the edge.
How does it feel? Woo. Is it a slippery feel? Does it feel like the truck is loose? What do you feel when you get in that traction compound and it's early laps like this?
Well, for me, early on, it's just unpredictable. You know, sometimes it'll have grip, sometimes it won't. And when it does, you feel like Superman. And when it doesn't, hold on, because you just don't know where you're going to end up.
Not Superman.
Not Superman, for sure.
More like Clark Kent, right?
Yeah.
Look at this draft you got down the front straight. That's one thing these trucks do a lot, especially at a track like this where you're into gas a lot. If you can line up down the straightaway and get a good draft going, and you have no one behind you in your lane, you're not going anywhere. You're going to see the same thing in the All-Star race tomorrow.
Good battles all the way across the track here.
Sheldon Creed in that 2 truck, the defending series champion. Heard the report on him from pit road just prior to the start of the race, and that's the 26 of Tyler Ankrum right behind him. The 19 of Derek Kraus is ahead of Creed. Creed looking to make the move on him for position.
And you see this.
Oh, and Sheldon
Sheldon
Creed got up into the traction compound, and just as Brad said, it is inconsistent, and it cut loose.
Sure did.
Unpredictable and heavy rear end damage to the 2.
Oh, that's not what he needed. He was running 11th. Oh. Let's take a look at the replay and see if we can break this down a little bit. Looks like he tries to make a run to the bottom. It's not going to stick, so he gets a little bit loose here, slides up into it. He's okay right now, and he gets all 4 in the traction compound. Not going to stick.
Yeah, I think what happened there is he tried to make the move, tried to get the truck in front of him to give him a little bit of space on the inside. That truck in front of him, who is that?
Derek Kraus.
Derek
in the
Kraus,
19,
yes.
Yep.
Comes across, takes the air off the nose of Sheldon Creed, and I think that's what made him start going up the racetrack, Brad, and then got into the traction compound that wasn't quite gripped up the way he needed it, and around she goes.
Yeah, involved in an accident in the most recent race at Charlotte, and more damage early here today, Regan.
Well, Vince, you see the damage right there. They're very concerned about the back of that truck ripping off and causing more damage, so they told him to back it down as much as he could to get back around here. Sheldon came on the radio right after that accident, said completely my fault, a move that he knew he probably shouldn't have made right there. They're going to have to salvage what they can now for the rest of the day.
Of course, Creed does have a win already this season. He got that at Darlington, so he is playoff secure, but it is a costly mistake early on for the defending series champ. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Texas Motor Speedway. Welcome back to the SpeedyCash.com 220. Along with Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, I'm Vince Welch. Under caution because of this incident involving Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, and that's a good view of it. when Derek Kraus came down across the racetrack and took all the air off of Sheldon Creed's car or truck, it just lost control. He started moving to the right side of him, and then he's going up. He almost had it saved. Brad and I were talking about it. We almost had it, and he got in that traction compound, and it went around the rest of the way.
Yeah, pretty significant damage here with the I guess you would call this the trunk bed, tailgate bed torn off, and that's going to pretty much end your day from having a chance. They got it fixed, but that ain't going to run good, I can tell you that.
No.
The 88 of Matt Crafton also had an issue. Crafton was running inside the top 10. What's the problem there, Jamie?
Yeah, he said when that caution came out suddenly in 3 and 4, he had no power. So they brought it down pit road. They thought maybe it was a battery issue, unplugged, came down, plugged it back in, and he's back up to power now. So they took some fuel. He's being shown last and a lap down. This is another team that just can't risk any points. They need to fight their way back to stay in that playoff contention.
Yeah, Crafton currently 7th in the point standings, and he had an engine issue at Charlotte last time out. Ended up 30th in that one, so lost significant points there. So as Jamie mentioned, you can't be giving points away here with just 5 races remaining in the regular season.
And I think everyone can relate at home. When something fixes itself, it's probably not fixed.
Yeah.
Fool's gold.
That's not good. That's not good.
Well, I don't know. I mean, your phone locks up. Sometimes you have to restart it. Maybe that's what's happening. You know, some kind of electronic issue. I don't know.
Maybe.
So Rhodes and Nemechek again will restart on the front row. And what a season it's been for Ben Rhodes. A career best year. And while John Hunter Nemechek has garnered much of the attention, you can't overlook what Rhodes has done. He won the first 2 races of the season. You see his average finish at 6.2, the best in the series for the full-timers. And all those numbers are career best type numbers for Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, these two have pretty much dominated this series, John Hunter Nemechek and Ben Rhodes this year. And you know, some other drivers have had great runs, but it seems like week in and week out, it's one of these two guys going for the win. And of course, they're running 1-2 right now accordingly.
For sure. And you look at that 6.2 average finish. That's saying something right there.
Solid.
That means you're solid. You're not having bad races. Wins are great, but also having that consistency is a big deal.
And there's a guy you're extremely familiar with, Chase Elliott. He is back in the 16th position. First Truck Series event of the season. Ran 3 truck races last year, 1 at Charlotte.
You know, when you jump in a truck that, you know, you don't drive very often, you don't drive trucks in general very often, and then, you know, it's just a whole new feel. You're working with new people. You're hoping your belts just plug in the right way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It takes a couple laps to figure out which way's up before you feel comfortable hustling that thing. I'm sure he's going to get more and more comfortable and continue to work through the field.
And they continue to try to get that 2 truck as repaired as possible under the circumstances.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You see the damage to the tail, the left rear quarter panel, right rear quarter panel are so important on these trucks. They're like a rudder in the wind, and when they're damaged, it don't work right.
You know, John Hunter was laughing at me about taking the top, but look at Ben Rhodes as the leader taking the top.
Ben Rhodes listened to you, Joey. Let's see what he can do on this restart.
He may regret it, but he listened.
This will be the telltale sign here.
Oh, I think he might get him down the backstretch. Let's see. It might go 3 wide behind him. Yes.
Oh, boy.
Austin Hill trying to help. Gives Nemechek a little bit of a shove, and Nemechek
got him.
Closed the door on Rhodes.
That was just the push he needed to clear Ben Rhodes. I don't think Austin Hill meant to give him a push, but John Hunter Nemechek made a good block there and used it to propel himself forward and take over the lead. That bottom lane, John Hunter was right.
He was right. But that's just how these restarts work. Well, look at you see Stuart Friesen getting loose down there in turns 1 and 2. But that's just how these restarts work sometimes. You can have the right lane. You can have everything going for you. But if the car behind you doesn't push you, it's not going to work. Right?
Or the truck.
The truck. Yeah, right. If Austin Hill chose Ben Rhodes in that situation instead of pushing John Hunter, you would have had a different leader right now.
Yes.
And you can't control the guy behind you very often.
Riding along, great view from the visor cam of Todd Gilliland.
Out of the gas quite a bit. You can tell that's from the track being so slick. You know, when the track gets hot like this, I know we've talked about this a few times, it really changes the way these trucks drive. You got to lift, you got to slow down because the tires just do not have the grip.
You even hear them lifting down here in 3 and 4. I really thought they'd be wide open all the way through here. It does show about the lack of grip. Yeah, as this track sits out in the sun another year, you know it's going to get slicker and slicker.
Gilliland and that 38 team have had a little more speed in this last handful of races. Of course, they got that much needed win a couple of races back at Coda on the road course, but we've seen the speed on the ovals pick up a little bit from the 38. Was talking to Todd earlier, and he was excited about the race today and the possibilities as we near the midway point here in stage 1.
Vince, I'll tell you, he was so impressive at Circuit of the Americas. Todd Gilliland was. That was a great win for him.
There's Johnny Sauter. We heard from Jamie a little bit earlier, and the urgency and maybe some of the questions around that 13 team. Just haven't been able to put it together this season. Haven't caught any breaks as well, but sometimes you got to make your own breaks. Johnny told me this morning it's just a lot of little things that they feel like have caught them up and hamstrung that team this season, but they are confident, especially here at Texas where Sauter's won 5 times, that they can get it turned around.
You see Chase Elliott right behind him. Now we're moving back to a little deeper in the field with the battle here.
Austin Wayne Self in the 22, and he's just outside the playoff cut line, currently running right around that 15-16 spot. A little debris there on the front end of the 4. Anything to be worried about there?
I don't know. If you're in the lead, sometimes having a little bit of garbage on the grill isn't such a bad thing if it's not too much, right? You try to set the tape on these trucks.
I think it's above the open, but keep an eye on your temps here.
You try to set the temp on these trucks with tape, obviously, and the more tape you can put on it, the faster you go. But you try to set it to where you know if you're back in the pack, you're not going to be overheating. So when you're in the lead, you're going to have cleaner air. Your truck's going to run a little bit cooler. You can afford to have a little bit of garbage on the grill, have a little extra downforce, a little less drag. It's probably helping them, as long as it's not too hot.
There's Chase Elliott in the 24, Sauter in the 13, back just around the top 10. Gilliland and Chandler Smith fighting for 6th. Smith getting the edge out of that Kyle Busch Motorsports camp. Everybody's chasing the 4 truck. John Hunter Nemechek, even with a little debris on the front end, he's still plenty fast. Coming back to Texas.
Yeah.
Camping World Truck Series racing from Texas Motor Speedway under caution, and again for the second time it's for the 2 truck of Sheldon Creed, our defending series champ. Take a look at Creed here. We'll highlight him, circle him, and show you what you should keep an eye on. Almost looks like a replay of the previous time, doesn't it, guys?
Sure does. Poor guy. I feel bad for him. This is not the day he wanted for sure. Had bad luck in Charlotte, getting caught up in a wreck, and then 2 wrecks here today. Not a good weekend.
Well, Brad, you know, we talked about a little bit as they're fixing the damage on that truck that, you know, that right rear quarter panel is very, very sensitive. And when it's knocked over to the right like it was before this incident, you know it's going to be quite a bit freer and a lot harder to drive. And I think that's what happened there for Sheldon. Let's listen to some radio from him.
We're down. You okay? I'm fine, dude. This thing is so hard to drive. I'm sorry. We're down. You okay? I'm fine, dude.
Yeah, well, we agree.
Yep.
We agree here in the booth. You know, it only got harder to drive once you got the damage, like Joey was saying, and it's a rough day. But you're going to have those in racing sometimes.
If anybody caught a break out of that deal, it was Matt Crafton. He got the free pass. So after that little bit of a power issue from Crafton and going down a lap, he gets back on the lead lap. Still in stage 1 at Texas Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. The day a short one for Sheldon Creed.
What are you talking about?
Remind you to enter Clint's Fox Bet Super 6 contest for your chance to win $10,000 of Clint Boyer's money. Just download the app and pick 6 race outcomes. Do it before the end of round 2 of the All-Star race for your shot to win. It's free to play. Don't miss out, and play now while there is still time left. Looking forward to the All-Star race tomorrow. Got Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski up here in the booth with us today, both in the All-Star race tomorrow. How about this one? The best finishing position in round 4 out of these 6 drivers. Logano, who you picking?
Well, why am I not even on this? I don't understand.
Maybe they think you're going to be out by then.
Oh, wow.
Oh, gee. You know what? I'm not even answering this question. Heck with you guys.
Well, I am going to take myself.
Have you guys been studying the All-Star format this week? You've been spending a lot of time doing that?
I have. I got a little confused, so I just told my crew chief, just let me know what to do.
Lead the last lap. That's the
yes.
one. That's the
I
goal.
just think if you pass the car in front of you, that'll
Probably
probably
good.
be probably a good thing. So I'll just keep trying to do that.
Yep.
It's the old Team Penske hauler. We were talking about it earlier, man. They shine those things up, don't they? You don't want to be standing next to a Team Penske trailer on a hot day because that sun glares off of that thing. Woohoo!
It's got magnifying lens. Yeah.
It looks good, though. Looks good.
Fans are having fun up here in the stands, so it's
man.
great to see them.
Isn't it great to see fans back, guys?
Sure is. Got some pit stops happening here, guys. A lot of pit stops.
Zane Smith, the first to lead down pit road. Todd Gilliland there as well. Johnny Sauter, Hocevar, Ankrum. Chase Elliott there on the right in the 24 out of the GMS stable this weekend, along with Zane Smith. What have you seen guys needing here early on, guys?
Well, I think there's a strategy play here a little bit, putting your 4 tires on here. We're only about 9 laps away or so from the first stage, so or even less than that. So I think you put your 4 tires on here, you stay out at the end of the first stage, you cycle back to the front, and try to get yourself a stage win in the second stage.
Joey, what I think they're saying is we need track position. And by pitting right here, we're going to give up track position now and gain a whole lot later on.
What you see here, too, right now, Brad, to that point, needing track position, this is a challenging track to pass on, especially when this traction compound has not really come in yet. Like, it's okay, but it's not good enough to make a bunch of passes up there. And this is your way to cycle your way to the front.
35 laps in stage 1. We've got 27 down. Fans having a good time, and we're going to take you to the finish of stage 1 at Texas Motor Speedway when we come back. Been a tough day for defending series champ Sheldon Creed. Brought out the first caution when he got up in the traction compound. Truck cut loose on him and some rear end damage you see there. And Then it happened again. It almost looked like an instant replay of the first incident, but unfortunately it was not, and that put the 2 truck on the hook and done for the day for Sheldon Creed.
A little bit of a lengthy cleanup, Vince, but they've got the track back ready to go for a short sprint to the end of stage 1.
It is. They'll be coming to lap 30, and the first stage is 35 laps.
Well, these are always the fun restarts for me, is knowing that you got stage points sitting right there in front of you. You got to be aggressive. You might as well make the move because you only got a few laps to go, and then you're going to pit anyway. So hustle hard, use everything you got.
You win the stage, you get a playoff point that take with you throughout the entire postseason. And the top 10 get stage points to help out. So these are valuable laps, taking us to lap 35 and the end of stage 1 as Nemechek jumps out front. Austin Hill second, Ben Rhodes third.
And a big help from Austin Hill again for John Hunter Nemechek, pushing him out to the lead. No contest for the outside lane on this restart.
Chandler Smith has moved into that 4th position with Stuart Friesen in 5th. Good run today for the 18 of Chandler Smith here in this stage 1.
A little bit of a hornet's nest. Todd Gilliland, one of the first trucks on new tires. He's trying to get some stage points here.
That's Chase Elliott right behind Gilliland. Gilliland in that green 38. Right behind him in the red and black 24 is Chase Elliott. Jamie Little with Sheldon Creed.
Last time we were here, Sheldon Creed went to victory lane. Today's the first truck out. How much of that was the track conditions versus the way your truck was handling?
Yeah, I mean, my truck was really good there. Bummed for my guys. They worked really hard. And to be the first one out, it's a bummer. Just I was climbing my way through. I don't know what I was up to, but it was fast. I got really tight behind the 19. And as soon as my right side touched a spray, I was backwards. So it's just a product of it. You have a bad week at Charlotte, then you start mid-pack, no practice, you can't run the spray in. At the end of the day, I'm the one driving it, so it's my fault. So just thankful for everyone in our corner. Let's get for last, all my guys. Thankfully, we have practice next weekend, so we can dial our truck in, hopefully qualify up front, and turn this stuff around.
Thanks, Sheldon. Vince?
Yeah, back-to-back bad finishes for the 2 of Sheldon Creed.
Some great action here in this battle for the 10th position. Looks like Todd Gilliland's going to get around.
And the caution is out again for the 3rd time here in this first stage. And it's in all likelihood going to bring us to the end of stage 1 ultimately, as you see the 49 of Ray Cicerelli has come to a stop. Cicerelli making his first start of the season, but a veteran of the Truck Series.
Well, looks like he got it fired up there. Has some damage there on the left front. You see it wrinkled up a little bit.
Looks like he's got a tire coming apart in the back there.
Something just came apart. Might have been I guess the right rear, because the left rear looks okay.
So Cicerelli will limp back to pit lane.
You know, we were talking to Regan Smith during the commercial break and said that I saw some cords on some of these cars or these trucks out here earlier from these runs. So there could be maybe this tire's coming apart after a long run like that. That happens sometimes at a track that's green. No, it's their first trucks on the racetrack and the track's not rubbered in yet. And I think it'll get better throughout the race for sure.
So this stage will end under caution. John Hunter Nemechek will be the stage 1 winner. That is his 8th stage win of the season, and as mentioned previously, you get that stage point, that stage win playoff point to take with you throughout the postseason when you win a stage. John Hunter leads in that category, his 23rd playoff point of the season. Welcome back, Camping World Truck Series Racing from Texas Motor Speedway, presented by Blue Emu. Stage 1 in the books. John Hunter Nemechek winning the stage after a couple of cautions created by Sheldon Creed. Last year's race winner won here last October, and he is done for the day. And then Ray Cicerelli came to a stop, bringing out the caution that ended the stage. Good stage points for Chandler Smith and Austin Wayne Self as well, finishing up in the top 7. Smith finished 4th in the stage, Self finished 7th, and those were a couple of guys that, Brad, you and Joey were talking about needing points. Absolutely. Right around the cut line.
Got to get them when you can, but now we got to get to pit road and get tires in service. What do you got, Jamie Little?
99 of Ben Rhodes, just trying to race smart, being careful, giving up position if he needs to, because he's thinking about the big picture and being there at the end. A little bit tight, track bar adjustment. They will pull some tape. The 16 of Austin Hill. Truck's been decent, started off neutral, loses the nose a little bit, so they'll tighten him up there, and a 4-tire stop for the 16, Regan.
52 of Stuart Friesen right now battling a very loose race truck in turns 1 and 2 in particular. Called it sketchy at one point, needs a little bit of help with the handling on it. And the Ford truck of your leader, John Hunter Nemechek, he watched the temps that whole run. Everything was good. Right now, just a little bit free. The back stepping out too much on him.
Of course, John Hunter gets that very first pit stall as well, always an advantage. How about Ben Rhodes, guys? You want to dial him up and have a chat with Rhodes, having a good run here early on?
Sure, let's talk to Ben. Hey, Ben Rhodes, Joey Logano up here in the Fox booth. You copy us?
Gonna have to switch to channel 2, Joey.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. Let's try this. Ben Rhodes, Joey Logano in the Fox booth. You copy?
I got you, Joey. How are you?
I am doing good. We've been up here joking about restarts a little bit, about taking the top, taking the bottom when you're up there on the front row. I thought the top was the right play. I was with you. You weren't getting the push helps that you needed. What do you think? You're going to get back up there to the front? And if so, are you going to change what you were doing?
We just got to play it smart right now. The track's still really treacherous. It's starting to take some rubber on the bottom, but the high side is still really, really slick. So I don't really know what to do yet. The clean air was my biggest asset, and we lost that. So either way, we got a really good 99 Bombardier Tundra. We just got to play it smart right now.
Copy that. Well, it's going to be fun to watch as everything's cycled up and changed a lot. So have some fun working through the field.
Thank you, Joey.
It'll be fun to watch. The 98, 99 of Rhodes coming through. It's been a career year for him. Coming back for stage 2 from Texas Motor Speedway. Back at Texas Motor Speedway, fans in the stands sweating it out on a hot summer day. Temperature around 90 degrees here for the first of 2 races, the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. Let's go downstairs, check in with Regan Smith.
Well, Vince, the 38 truck of Todd Gilliland leading this race right now. That goes back to their strategy, though, on the previous caution. They wanted to do exactly what the other trucks didn't do. If the other trucks stayed out, they were going to pit. Otherwise, they were going to stay on the racetrack and try and get the lead. That is what's worked out right now for them. Jamie?
And Chase Elliott second right now, pitted on lap 26. Chad Walter, his crew chief, told me he's just been getting reacclimated with the truck for these first 39 laps. Now that they have track position, clean air should help this truck and help his chances of going back to victory lane.
Well, and Chase will start on the front row for this restart to begin stage 2. Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, impressions of stage 1 and how you think the differing strategies are going to play out here in stage 2.
Well, I love the strategy that Chase Elliott and Todd Gilliland did there. Being able to pit, they got 5 green laps on their tires, maybe even less than that. They're going to be great shape. They got that clean air that's going to mean so much. It's a tough track to pass. I'm interested to see if John Hunter Nemechek can work his way, and Ben Rhodes, they can work their way through the field. Austin Hill, those guys that were up front that are now cycled back outside the top 10, can they move their way forward?
Yeah, right now they are not loving their track position. They're going to have to restart towards the back of the pack on a track that's very hard to pass on and still very treacherous, that Ben Rhodes was telling us before the break. So it'll be interesting to see how far up they can get here before the end of stage 2, and I guarantee you they're going to push hard to do so.
Yeah, Ben Rhodes going to start back in the restart back in the 13th position. We joked about it'd be fun to watch him come through. Probably won't be as fun for him, but we'll enjoy the watch. Let's listen to the 24 radio of Chase Elliott as we get this second stage underway here in Texas.
Getting a push. Back on 21. Shooting the 15 here. Still out there. 21 in line with you. Still out there. Just 15. Still there. Quarter. Still there. Quarter. Still there, quarter, just shooting him. Be all clear, whatever you need here. Clear about 1 back 21, rolling bottom, 2 wide behind you.
Spotter Tyler Mann, I should say, in the ear of Chase Elliott today.
Great launch, by the way, by Todd Gilliland. He didn't have to worry about getting a push there, Joey. He just drove away.
Absolutely. You just saw that 45 truck coming off the top with the huge run looking for that clean air. That's something big about these restarts too, is if you can just find the lane that has the cleanest air, will move you forward. But then you get on these straightaways, you see these trucks, you got to find the draft. You got to get that truck out of the air when you're going down the straightaway.
John Hunter Nemechek taking that position away from Grant Infinger, and the 42 of Carson Hocevar got around Infinger as well. Infinger trying to come back on the outside.
Infinger was one of the trucks that pitted before the stage, so he's got a few more laps on his tires. We'll see how that plays out for him.
Good chase at the run outside of Tanner Gray, using that traction compound. Nice pass.
Watch the 21, that orange truck. Got a little push from behind.
A little swipe.
Excuse me, I'm going to come around.
Looked like Infinger was trying to make a run below him and got a little bit closer than they both wanted.
I don't think he wanted to let him underneath him either. A little tight going down the 3.
Chase Elliott with a big run coming off of turn 4 to get to the back of Todd Gilliland here. He looks like he might be just a little bit faster.
This is at the front of the field. Gilliland in that green 38 leading the way. Chase Elliott right behind him with Zane Smith in tow.
This is going to be a fun battle to watch. Chase Elliott, so much talent, so much experience. Being able to race in the Cup Series against the big dogs every week, man, it's just going to make you really good because it's tough. He knows all the little tricks of the trade, trying to get his nose inside of him, able to do that, clear, done, just like that. That's a product of experience. He's got a fast truck, obviously, as well, but that's a product of, I've been here before, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, these guys should be nervous, by the way, because once he establishes the lead here, he's going to be really tough to beat. You got these other trucks that were so fast at the end of stage 1, John Hunter Nemechek, Ben Rhodes, Austin Hill, but they're not even in the top 10 yet to recover yet.
Yeah, Rhodes struggling. We mentioned him restarting back in that 13th position. Lost a couple of spots, now 16th. Up front, Gilliland and Zane Smith for second. Smith taking a look. And how about down on the inside of Smith? Company as well with Tanner Gray in the 15.
Ooh, Zane Smith got 8 up there trying to make that pass. I thought he made a great move initially, Joey, but the draft, overcoming, and they swallowed them up here, didn't they?
Yeah, they got one heck of a battle going on here. John Hunter Nemechek down there in the bottom, trying to find room to keep his momentum. Not able to do that. Boy, this is something's wrong too. I mean, with Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, he's really slipping
really
in the
falling
corners.
back here. Yeah, really looks like his truck might be a little bit loose, and he's kind of in hang-on mode right now.
That's interesting, Joey. I was watching Chase Elliott's lap times earlier in the race when he was kind of mired back in traffic, and he was running a 31:20, 31:30. Now that he's in the lead, he's running 30:80s, 30:90s, almost a half a second faster. That's the power of the clean air.
There's a lot of power, especially a track like this where you're going so fast. That clean air means even more.
See that 15 of Tanner Gray, still looking for his first top 10 of the season. So running up there in that second position, a big boost for this team. Finished third 3 times last year, but just have not had those kind of finishes this year. But he is up front and pushing the envelope here at Texas.
I like
Early
that
laps.
move he made on that restart, Vince. That was really sharp. Get 3 wide, get by these guys, establish second place. Got a little clean air himself.
Early laps of stage 2. Chase Elliott has taken the lead from Todd Gilliland and is running up front. Here's where you guys were talking about the air and that veteran move by Elliott in the 24.
Well, so he got the big draft down the straightaway, and when he got to the corner, he got right on Todd Gilliland's left rear quarter panel, kind of packed some air up in there. And when that air gets packed up, it goes off the spoiler. You lose the side force and a little bit of the rear downforce. And the car just, or truck just does not have as much grip. And you see that. You see how he had to lift, and he kind of slid up. And just like that, Chase Elliott is gone.
Just like that. And, you know, we talked about earlier about the experience of Chase Elliott being a NASCAR Cup champion. You know, he's kind of seen it and been there. And you may say, well, he's going right down here in the Truck Series. You know, what's he doing that for? He's trying to get more experience. And it's also really good for these other drivers to see that. How do you become better if you're not racing against someone better than you, someone pushing you? That's what happens when you see some of these Cup guys come to the truck level or Xfinity level and go out there and race them. I know when I was racing Xfinity before I moved up to Cup, I loved racing against Carl Edwards, Kevin Harvick, you know, Jeff Burton, all those guys that were running Xfinity at the time. That's where I learned the most.
Yep. Zane Smith, quick learner, won a couple of times last season in his rookie year. More on him. He's running third, Jamie.
Yeah, nice run so far today. This is the first time Zane Smith has ever brought a brand new race truck to the track. I talked to Kevin Mannion, his crew chief. He was really excited about it. This is the future at GMS, is this truck, he said. But it's a big risk when you don't have practice because you have no idea if you hit your marks. We've got to spin. It looks like Stuart Friesen is around, guys.
Yeah, and heavy contact to the front end for the 52 of Friesen. He was running just inside the top 10 at the time.
Yeah, I got to see the replay on this because that is not a place that you normally see an accident down the backstretch, almost at the end of the backstretch on the inside wall. Got a replay coming here in just a second, but big contact.
There's the 42 of Hocevar right behind him.
So Hocevar's got a little run on him, and maybe they make a little contact. Yes, they definitely make contact.
Boy, Chandler Smith narrowly avoiding getting collected there.
It's a tough angle. Yeah, if you're looking to place blame on somebody here, I don't know how you do that from that angle. You know, because sometimes it
looks like Hocevar was trying to get to the outside, and Stewart just kept coming up. But
I think you're also coming up, but he's also, the block was a little late. He was already on his right side, and sometimes you get hooked that way, and it's driving him up to the wall, and he didn't mean to, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that could happen as well. So it may look like it was a late block, but it also could have been just something there. The bumpers weren't lined up just right, and things were going wrong all at the wrong time.
And it happens real fast, Joey, real fast. You know, you watch these on replay, and like, why'd he do that? And I can promise you, when you're going 180, 190 mile an hour, it's a lot harder than it looks on TV.
It's a big difference in super slow-mo, you mean?
Yeah, they always replay these things in slow motion.
Yeah, in slow motion, what were you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
And like we can see, everything is clear as your replays are. Yeah, yeah.
Well, a couple of big hitters out of this race already, as you saw Stuart Friesen climbing from his truck. Friesen is out, and last year's series champ Sheldon Creed out as well. About halfway through stage 2 at Texas Motor Speedway. Chase Elliott in the lead. Back at Texas Motor Speedway, where Chase Elliott is the leader, the Cup Series champ, 3-time winner in the Truck Series. Got that first win at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park and Martinsville Speedway back in 2017, and then most recently last year at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the big bounty race with Kyle Busch. And to Chase in the truck for the first time this season, and that red and black 24 is up front. Took the lead from Todd Gilliland. A little breeze and heat today here at Texas Motor Speedway. And under caution here in stage 2 because of an incident involving Stuart Friesen and Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, you see again, Carson's got a good draft here. He's going to make a run to the right side or the outside, and it just hook bumpers there. Doesn't take much. Around he goes, Stuart Friesen into the bottom wall, and a big hit.
Do you assign blame to either one?
I think they both wanted to be running in that position.
Joey, that's a very political answer.
That's what I have. They both wanted it. Neither one wanted to give it up, and there you have it. You have it.
I'm guessing their radio communication is going to tell a different story. First the 52.
It got me in the right rear quarter. We're clear, and he decided just to give me a shove. Idiot. Just trying to push him, like, can't do that. You know who you're racing. Same old deal. Just letting him go, like, either come up or no, like, don't just keep coming up when I'm stuck on you. Like, I'm getting pushed too, you know?
Well, there's always 3 stories, right? There's his story, your story, and the truth. So,
yep. Somewhere in there it is it's the truth, but.
And I got to imagine that when you see it on replay, a lot of times it looks different than what maybe you saw it initially.
I've learned to keep my mouth shut until I see something.
Yes.
Because I have made that mistake before, where I get up all fired up and then I look at it later and I go, oh.
Yeah, personally, I look at that. And, you know, I think the 42 had a big run and probably deserved a little bit of a lane to get in there, but.
Hey, tonight it'll be baseball coming to you. Baseball Night in America on Fox. So who doesn't love the Cardinals and the Cubs? Giants and the Nationals, Astros and the Twins. All start 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. So check the local listings for the game in your area. And of course, a busy afternoon of racing right here on FS1. We've got the Camping World Truck Series race, of course, right now. And we'll have the Xfinity Series race to follow. And Brad and Joey, you guys are doing double duty in the broadcast booth with Adam Alexander for the Xfinity Series race. You guys did the Xfinity Cup double here in 2010. I'm guessing this is going to be a little less strenuous.
Yeah, we got air conditioning up here. It's quite nice, actually. There's candy up here.
Snacking away.
Yep. I mean, they take pretty good care of us, but, you know, I'm waiting on the ice cream.
I took some of NASCAR's lunch they had up here. The NASCAR tower is right next to us, and they had some good Mexican food, and I may have taken one of their lunch spots. So
that'll be a penalty
thank
tomorrow,
you very
Joey.
much.
Yeah.
I know that might cost me in a speeding penalty, but it was good at the moment.
Always safer to have the Mexican before a broadcast versus before a race.
Absolutely. That's an experienced move.
We saw some pretty major changes in the 13 truck during that pit stop. Jamie Little, what's going on with Johnny Sauter's camp?
Well, Vince, at the top of the show, I talked about maybe today could be the day they turn their luck around. Well, not so much. This truck has just been evil for him, extremely loose. When they came in under that caution, they put a bunch of wedge in it, but they said it was so bad they had to work on all 4 corners, put a spring rubber in the right front as well, trying to help him out. But he's way back there, mired in 31st now.
Wow. Right there around Jesse Awuchi in the 34 truck. And it's a hometowner for Jesse, originally from Carrollton, Texas. Of course, United States Navy. And so appreciative of all the military do. And it's great to see Jesse be able to serve and also race, making his 3rd start this season. And speaking of those serving, got the 34 truck as well. And that's, or the 33 truck of Keith McGee, Air Force veteran, and used to be stationed in Oklahoma City, so a lot of the friends that he served with are in the stands here today.
Very cool.
Very cool, for sure. Here we see back to the lead here. Chase Elliott taking the top side here. We'll see how this one plays out. It's going to be about the push.
That's Tanner Gray on the inside, and talking about that push for Chase Elliott, that would come from Zane Smith in that orange 21.
Oh, big push from Todd Gilliland on the inside lane. Tanner Gray was really fast before the yell came out. He's going to be tough to beat here. He's going to clear Chase Elliott for the lead.
I told him he should have taken the bottom.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Every time.
Every
You know,
time.
next restart will look different again.
Tanner Gray out front of Chase Elliott with Zane Smith, Todd Gilliland, and Grant Infinger filling out the top 5.
But you bring up that lane choice for Chase Elliott. One of the things I've noticed is his truck just doesn't seem to launch quite as well as the other trucks around him. I'm not sure if that's his gear ratios or something with his engine, but those other guys are really out launching him.
98 is Infinger, 38 is Gilliland, and Matt Crafton with the problem.
I wonder if his engine shut off again. That has all the looks of another power plant issue.
It definitely does. Doesn't look like there's any damage to that truck.
Remember,
now it's taken back
It
off.
looks like it was.
Yeah, remember earlier Crafton's truck shut off?
Yep,
He's
it looks
going
like
again.
Under caution, and then it came back alive, and he is back under power again.
That's a helpless feeling.
What I tell you guys about things that fix themselves? It's not good. It's not good. You have to find a fix, and during the race, it's hard to do that. So, must be a loose connection somewhere, and it bounced back in or something. Off it goes.
So Crafton back at speed, going around the 33. Howie DiSavino in that 3 truck today, taking the place of Jordan Anderson. Will be running the Xfinity Series race. Less than 10 to go here in stage 2, and Jinjo Cobb has come to a stop in that 10 truck.
Right at the entrance of pit lane, so NASCAR probably saying that this is unsafe condition. We're going to get her pushed out of the road here.
And let's see the issue that she had in the 10. Trying to find her here. Oh, there's Crafton going up track a little bit. And that's where Crafton's truck looked like he had the power situation.
What an experienced move there. He realized he had an issue in the middle of the corner and said, I'm getting out of the way.
Yeah, before I get ran over. Yeah,
that was smart.
So there's Jinjo Cobb getting the push to her pit box, and Crafton's got to be confused about what's happening with that 88 truck, doesn't he, guys?
Yeah, that's no fun, and there's really nothing you can do as a driver when you're in that spot other than just try not to get ran over.
So with 8 to go in the stage here, expect pit stops, Brad, Joey?
I think so. I think the same thing that happened last time. This is the same opportunity you have to cycle your way to the front. When you look at where some of these guys are that cycled back before, Ben Rhodes, 12th place. John Hunter Nemechek, where is he at? He got back to 4th. But I think this is a good move if you pit here and cycle yourself up front. We've seen what clean air means. If you're Chase Elliott, why not? You're not racing for points. I would definitely come in.
Got to believe about a half a dozen of them are going to pit here at least. By the time we go back green, it'll only be 5 laps to go, most likely.
Very similar to what we saw at the late laps of stage 1 in regards to the caution and the opportunity to pit.
Oh, here we go. Chase Elliott is going to lead him down. Oh, it looks like most of the field is going to come.
Well, just as you guys suggested. Jamie Little's there first.
Last minute call to pit for Chase Elliott. He says he's just a tick tight, but I'm still learning. Not bad for him. Led some laps there as they put 4 fresh tires. I remember they only have 4 sets of fresh tires for this race. Regan.
Well, the 38 of Todd Gilliland doing what he did the last time, pitting before the stage ends. That truck right now loads up too tight in the center of the corner. That means that when it gets compressed, he loses the front tires on it. They didn't help that at all on stop 1. And the Ford truck of John Hunter Nemechek, he's not bad right now, but as Joey and Brad were just mentioning about, all he wants is clean air. The dirty air is killing his truck right now.
Team's going to work on pit road and making some adjustments, and we saw some significant adjustments on that 38 truck of Gilliland. The 15 of Tanner Gray stayed out. You see Chase Elliott and John Hunter Nemechek. 21 of Zane Smith stayed out as well. Playoff points and stage points critical for them, so the stage, the track position is so important here in these final laps of stage 2.
Vince, Tanner Gray has been very, very fast here. He's got a fast lap that's close to what the leaders have ran. Saw after Chase Elliott got by, he was keeping up fairly well, and he's sitting 17th in the points. You got to think that they're thinking this is a good day to gamble, try to get a win, and try to get themselves locked in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's definitely getting himself off strategy here. And here's the deal. If you stay out here, your goal is definitely to win this stage or get some kind of playoff points. If you have a mistake on this restart and you don't get the points that are handed there for you, and then you got to pit again in 6 laps and cycle back to the back, you got nothing out of it. You have to at least collect what's in front of you right now, which is a stage win for the 15, the 21, the 19. Those guys all have to get the most they possibly can here the next couple laps.
And Tanner Gray has never won a stage before, but I'm guessing Zane Smith is not going to just let him drive away with this.
They all look like they went to the same store to buy those shirts.
You see our playoff standings, talking about those playoff points and the stage points and the significance of them. Remember, Stuart Friesen already done for the day because of an accident, as is Sheldon Creed, who came into the day 4th in the playoff standings with that earlier season win.
And you also talk about Johnny Sauter, who had the hood up not too long ago, an ill-handling truck, a bunch of wedging.
Yep, Matt Crafton has had issues today as well, currently in that 7th spot. So a lot could shake up here, not just in this day today, but in the 4 races remaining here in the regular season. As the fans out enjoying themselves. Tanner Gray in that 15, you guys talked about the speed that he's had. David Gilliland Racing, they really picked things up over the course of the past month or so, and they've made some strides in their program, and we've seen a little bit more speed out of them, including, of course, Todd Gilliland, who got that win at COTA. David was telling me earlier today that Ryan Preece will be in one of their trucks at Nashville and also Pocono later this season. So back to green with Zane Smith on the inside and Tanner Gray outside.
We're going to go three wide into turn 1. Derek Cross is going to get our Zane Smith.
Look behind him. Is that John Hunter? I think he had some contact off the right rear back there.
Sure did. He was on the inside lane. Got a little loose there on the bottom, and these guys are still duking it out here for the lead.
Final 5 laps of stage 2. Tanner Gray and Zane Smith at the front.
And they're going to battle it out all the way down into turn 1 here, side by side, trying to get position. Who's going to drive in the corner harder? Who's going to get the momentum? You see that bottom lane really taking off for Zane Smith.
Yeah, it's Derek Kraus in the white and black red 19 on the inside now of Tanner Gray for 2nd. Brennan Poole right there in 4th, having a good run. John Hunter Nemechek on board. Rhodes in the 99.
These guys are going to fight really hard with only 3 laps to go on the stage. A lot of points here.
There's such a fine line of being aggressive yet tiptoeing around on the bottom or up in the traction compound and trying to get all you can get.
Chastain in the 45 getting around Josh Berry for 5th place.
Been watching Josh. He's just running a smooth, smart race. His first ride in that truck.
2 laps remaining in stage 2. He's going to grab those stage points. Drew
51.
Dollar in the 51.
Oh,
that's
big
a hit.
Out of the Kyle Busch Motorsports stable. Drew Dollar, just his 3rd career start.
It doesn't take much here, and the hits here in Texas in 1 and 2 are just
They're
so
big.
vicious.
You're carrying so much speed down in there. There's no banking to slow you down,
and they moved. He was running 16th. You know, when they reconfigured this racetrack, they moved the effectively 1 and 2, and they made it wider, and it just makes it a longer distance and a harder angle when you hit the wall, and we're really seeing that today.
So Drew Dollar runs regularly in the ARCA Menard series, the 20-year-old from Atlanta, Georgia.
So he gets underneath here for 15th. He's racing Haley Deegan, yeah.
There's no air on the side. You know, he got that in there. Tough angle entering that shallow. Really need to turn the wheel a lot to get to car to wrap around the bottom. And no side force, you know, as you got a car on your outside. And around she goes in a hard way.
That's a big hit. I mean, you can tell the damage that it was a big hit, but I'm telling you, when they do that tank slapper, you know, hits the right rear, then it comes around and hits the right front in the car, it just really, it hurts. It kind of snaps you around.
One right after the other.
Yep.
And that's, yeah, that's definitely the knock the wind out of you type of hit. Hopefully he's okay.
How about some audio from the 51 of Drew Dollar's camp?
Are you okay?
Good. I'm so sorry, guys. Gosh, I'm horrible.
You can hear the frustration there in Drew Dollar's voice.
Glad he's okay, though.
Yep. Guys, it looks like it happens so quick, but what's it feel like in the seat when you know you've lost control before you hit the wall? Does that happen in a blink, or does it seem like it slows down before the contact?
Well, here at Texas, again, because the walls are so far away from the groove, you have a lot of time to think about what you're going to hit, and that is not a lot of fun. You know, usually when you wreck, you take some of the Talladega crashes and things like that. It happens so fast, you don't have a chance to really even worry about it. But here, he had a lot of time to think about that one, and that is no fun.
I've always laughed because there's a lot of people that ask me a lot of times and say, does things just happen slower for you? Things go like slow motion for you inside the car? Like, no, I'm going 200 miles an hour. Things are happening really fast. What are you talking about? Things happen really fast.
Well, stage 2 in the books. Zane Smith will win this one under caution. Can he get his first race win of the season? We're going to find out. Camping World Truck Series action presented by Blue Emu. Glad to have you with us, along with Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski. I'm Vince Welch, and we've seen some excitement today and a couple of big-name drivers that have gone by the wayside, including Sheldon Creed and that truck, the 51 of Drew Dollar, also the 52 of Stuart Friesen, all out. Zane Smith was the stage 2 winner. And his girlfriend, McCall Galding, won the better half dash this week. So they got a little something going on. There they are.
How about that trophy?
Whoa.
Oh, my goodness.
I want a trophy like that. That's awesome.
That's a bigger trophy to get for winning the truck race today.
Yes. Wow. That is quite something. That is really, really cool.
There might be some trash talk going on if Zane doesn't finish the job here.
I think so. I think they're getting ready to pit. Let's see.
Zane Smith, Tanner Gray, Derek Kraus, Brennan Poole all in there. Ross Chastain coming as well. Jamie Little is there.
There's definitely some pressure in the Zane Smith household. She told him, you better bring home the trophy today. I think it's working. He comes in as the leader. Brennan Poole in the 30, welcome back to the Truck Series. Had surgery on his wrist in March, doing a nice job there as you saw that chassis adjustment. The 25 of Josh Berry, lots of water. He's running 2 races today as you guys talked about the extreme heat, a truck adjustment there to help that truck. And the 21, a little bit tight air pressure adjustment will fix him up there. Regan.
Well, the 15 of Tanner Gray. Right now, that race truck is too tight into turn 1 when he gets into the corner. Wants an adjustment for that. Otherwise, he's been very pleased with a lot of speed out of this 15 truck today.
Been impressed with Tanner Gray and company. DGR stable. Doing a good job. You guys want to talk to Zane Smith?
Yeah, how about it, Zane Smith? This is Brad Keselowski in the Fox booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Nice job bringing home that stage with a great restart. Seems like you've got a good week going with future Mrs. Smith getting the win in the better half dash, and now yourself in the stage. Tell me about what you got for the rest of this one.
Yeah, at least one of us could win this year, but really good truck. This is a new truck, actually, first new one of the year, and so it's really good. I feel like I'm just a little bit too tight down at 3 and 4, and it's allowing them to suck up to me on the front stretch, so hopefully we'll fix that there, but having fun. Need to stay up front.
Absolutely. That new truck looks really good. Nice job, and we wish you the best rest of the race.
Thanks, man.
Brad, were you breaking some news there when you said the future Mrs. Smith?
Well, you know, to run the better half dash, guys, you know, you gotta step up here a little bit, Zane. We're trying to help you out here, McCall.
Even get the gossip on those telecasts. Good stuff. It's like coming back to see an old friend. You know how it rolls. No limits here. It's big, it's fast, it is Texas.
Man, that was aggressive.
Don't get trapped. Stay low, you are clear. Just be smart, man. Think big picture here. We don't have to win them all.
All over his tailgate.
Good, don't overdrive it now.
Hard in the outside wall.
Oh, no.
Whoa,
final stage is green at Texas. Who's going to win it today? 47th time the NASCAR Truck Series has raced here at Texas Motor Speedway. As we look at the Blue Emu race summary after 2 stages, Ross Chastain has snuck up there very quietly and will be our leader as we start stage 3. John Hunter Nemechek and Zane Smith, stage 1 and stage 2 winners. More issues for the 88 of Matt Crafton, Jamie.
Well, he's come in now a couple of times. They came in and said it was the ignition. The battery wasn't the issue like it was earlier in the race. They had 2 mechanics inside the truck, swapped out his steering wheel. That didn't fix the problem completely, so he just came back in twice, and they're working on the ECU. Just a disastrous day for the 88 Benz.
Well, and Crafton, a 2-time winner here. He's won 10 times on the mile-and-a-halfs throughout his career. And look at that, 19 straight top 10 finishes here at Texas Motor Speedway. That's in all likelihood going to come to an end today.
Tell you what I see here coming to this restart here. You got the top 8 are pretty much the best trucks we've seen all day. Chastain, Elliott, Chandler Smith, John Hunter, Infinger, Austin Hill, Ben Rhodes, Todd Gilliland. All those trucks all been up front at some point during the day, racing for the lead or in the lead. The cream is rising to the top at this point, and it's go time. It's the final stage.
70 laps in this stage from here.
Chase Elliott in that red and black number 24 on the inside, and that is Ross Chastain, the control truck, in that white 45 on the outside.
It's really curious what kind of launch we're going to see out of Chase Elliott this time. Still looks like he gave up just a little bit, but he's going to get a huge push from John Hunter Nemechek that will help him clear the lead.
John Hunter pushes Chase to the top spot. Chastain trying to secure second from Nemechek. John Hunter pulls alongside. Good side-by-side battle for the second spot. Chandler Smith.
Saw John Hunter get a little loose going into turn 3.
And we saw that on a restart before this down in turn 1 and 2, where he's got some damage from that.
Nemechek on the inside again, trying to battle with Ross Chastain for second, both chasing Chase Elliott.
Ross wisely gave him a little bit extra room down there, Joey. He didn't want to get him any looser than he already is.
Here comes Chandler Smith and Grant Infinger getting into the mix.
Yeah, these two are going to keep battling it out. As they stay side by side, that hole they're punching in the air for those cars behind them are allowing them to stay very, very close, and they're just waiting. Which lane do I choose? If you're Chandler Smith, saying, which one do I want to go with? Which one's going to clear the other? And they're still side by side. Oh, is Chastain going to get him here? I don't think so. Still going to pull him back again.
Chastain, a 3-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series. Of course, runs full-time for Chip Ganassi in the Cup Series currently, as Nemechek finally secures that position. Don't have to look too much further back, guys, and Hailie Deegan inside the top 10, running 8th in that one truck.
Yeah, it's a very good run for Hailie. Hailie still has a shot to get in the playoffs, needing some solid runs. A win would obviously help that the most, but definitely a solid run at a tricky racetrack.
Coming off a career best finish, matched her career best a couple of weeks ago at Charlotte, 13th. How about it, Jamie? Good run for the 19-year-old Deegan.
It really has been. I've been keeping my eye on her as she's working methodically through the field, and she's in the top 10 now. Mile-and-a-half tracks have just been their strength this year. 3 of the 4, she's finished in the top 15. Really good feedback. She's got a great spotter in TJ Majors on the roof, telling her and talking her through every lap, saying she's got more security in the truck right now, and that's helped her a lot, Regan.
Well, Jamie, a great recovery today for Ross Chastain in the 45 truck. Always so good when he returns to the Truck Series to run for Nice Motorsports, but early on in this race, they had major issues with that truck. They actually pitted to change the toe, took a long pit stop at the stage 1 break. Well, that has worked out well as they've gotten the speed back into the truck, just on the splitter a little bit too much, not right now for Ross Chastain.
Toe adjustment is not a very normal adjustment that you make during the race. Makes you wonder, as he has some kind of, interesting feeling maybe down the straightaway, maybe the truck darting around, things like that, maybe to make you want to change the toe and go down that direction.
Definitely an interesting change, but I'll tell you right now what I'm watching, guys. John Hunter Nemechek is flying. Almost 1 to 3 tenths faster every lap compared to Chase Elliott, and he is running him down.
A couple of different pit strategies involved. Many that pitted on, like our leader, Chase Elliott, last pitted on lap 63. John Hunter Nemechek last pitted on 63. Zane Smith last pitted 10 laps later at 73, and Smith just outside the top 10.
Yeah, Zane's got his work cut out trying to work his way back through the field here. You know, you talk about the speed that John Hunter has right now. Yes, he's getting some draft and help, as you see while we were riding along with him down the front straightaway. Catch and chase is going to be one thing. Passing him is going to be a completely different thing. We say that all the time, but that is going to be very true here.
How about the 98 of Grant Infinger running 5th? Grant splitting his season so far between the 98 for Thor Sport and the 9 truck for Cody Robaugh, and you look and see what he has done. It is very difficult bouncing back between 2 different trucks, 2 different organizations, but Infinger has done a terrific job. The only race he missed was the Daytona Road Course, so technically not playoff eligible, but it's been an admirable performance from Grant Infinger in the 98 and the 9 this season.
He's just so solid and reliable. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Grant's become a veteran in this series and someone that I think you can look up to if you're a rookie here.
How difficult is it bouncing back and forth would it be for a driver in any series, but much less the Camping World Truck Series between 2 different organizations week to week?
You know, Vince, I think it's just frustrating. It's hard to build a routine from everything as complicated to how the truck handles and what you're looking for out of it, and the relationship with your team, to the simple stuff of, hey, which hauler is my helmet in? Where's my fire suit? You know, and it just makes your life more difficult. So for him to be able to manage it and do it that well, I think Grant deserves a lot of credit.
For sure. It's very challenging to do, time consuming for sure, and very distracting. Trying to understand which truck is going where and when, and which crew chief do I talk to today, and how do I help here and get the seat fitted in this truck to that truck. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot for sure. And like Brad said, he's doing a great job. Grant's always done a good job here.
Carson Hocevar has appeared in the top 10 again as he continues to deliver week after week after week. Hocevar seems to find himself up in the mix. Just 18 years old from Michigan, and it has been a terrific run. Of course, was second our most recent race at Charlotte. Having another good one today, Regan.
Absolutely, Vince, he is. Spoke to Phil Gould right before the race. He was raving about how much of a veteran Carson Hocevar seems like in the truck at only 18 years old. This day today, though, has been a challenge for them. They started this race chattering the front tires through the center of the corners. A lot of work on that truck. At one point, they asked him on a 1 to 5 scale, how much of an adjustment do you need? He said a 4.5. Joey, Brad, you guys know when a driver says that, it's not good.
Yeah, I leave the 4.5 to like a tire's blown out.
Racing in his blood early, and he's just 18 years old, and you see what he's done the last 3 races, a couple of top 5s, and the one race that he wasn't top 5, he was in the top 10. Just recently picked up his high school diploma. That doesn't make you feel old, guys, and he's out here getting it done in the truck today in Texas. Mom and Dad proud of what Carson has been able to do in limited opportunity. Really making the most of it here with Nice Motorsports. And there is the 21 of Zane Smith passing Hocevar for 9th. That's Tyler Ankrum right behind him in 11th. In the 26, the white and orange machine. Todd Gilliland in the 38. Starting to creep back up into the mix. Good look from the visor cam of Gilliland. Everybody's chasing Chase Elliott, however. Elliott, first Truck Series start of the season in the 24. in the Camping World Truck Series here on FS1, and you see lap 97 of 147. We are in the final stage and still have another round of pit stops. Everybody must pit again to make it to the end. Chase Elliott continues to lead. He has led the most laps today, 33 laps led. But it's not been a dominating performance. John Hunter Nemechek led 32. Todd Gilliland led 8. Zane Smith, Tanner Gray, Ross Chastain, Ben Rhodes, they've all been out front at one point or another.
Yeah, Ross just got by John Hunter Nemechek. I was saying before the break that John Hunter Nemechek was flat out flying, and he was. He got to the back to Chase Elliott, and it just shut off on him. And he even lost his spot here to Ross to fall back to third, but we'll have to see if he just needs an adjustment on that truck. We got at least one more pit stop left in the next 20 to 30 laps, so we'll see what they can do with that truck.
You know, I've been watching some of these trucks, especially down in turns 1 and 2 as these trucks come off of 3 and 4 right now. But down in 1 and 2, there's a lot of trucks moving up into the traction compound. This is one of the longer runs that we've had. As these tires wear out and you find yourself lifting a little bit more, you find yourself searching, looking for something, looking for any kind of grip. And that means that that traction compound's really starting to come in. It says a lot for what the Xfinity race is going to be, as those cars are have a lot less downforce to these trucks and be a lot slicker, probably up in it even more.
And you mentioned the Xfinity Series race. It will follow our race here today. This is the first of a doubleheader on FS1. Chase Elliott in that red and black 24. Jamie, looks pretty smooth so far. Is it as good as it looks?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Remember, this is his first start this year, so every lap he's watching and learning, not giving a whole lot of feedback. And I just checked with Chad Walter, his crew chief, and he said he's good. Like, we're not loose, we're not tight. He's just setting sail and doing his thing. And another interesting note, the pit crew today is Tyler Reddick's pit crew from the Cup Series. So you don't see that very often. One Cup team pitting for another Cup driver in a different series.
It's kind of a weird situation to be in, isn't it? You're used to your team being on your side.
It's a little awkward, but you know what? These guys are finding a way to make it work.
It's like watching your girlfriend date somebody else. You don't really want that, you know?
Chandler Smith and Grant Infinger for fourth. Smith needing a good, strong run today. He came into this race just 10 points outside the playoff cut line.
There you go, Joey. They're up in the PJ1 right now. Here you can see they're using different lines. You know, people ask us all the time as race car drivers, especially NASCAR drivers, you know, all you guys do is, you know, make left-hand turns, go on oval tracks, you turn once, you turn twice. This is what makes it difficult. You know, when you race a road course, the groove usually does not change. On an oval, the groove is always changing, especially with dynamic track conditions like we see with the PJ1. And so what made the trucks fast earlier in the race is what might actually make them slow later in the race. So you have to be able to move around, adjust for the handling of your truck, and we're seeing guys do just that right now.
And that was another fine example of what makes oval racing tough too, is picking the right lane. Through traffic, working cars, you're always in traffic. You're always in traffic. You're always working dirty air, trying to move around. Where's your truck run good? Where doesn't it? Trying to communicate that. It's all fine, small little things. We're talking about a half a tenth of a second that you need to be from first to fifth place sometimes. It doesn't take a lot.
Good view from John Hunter Nemechek's perspective. That's Ross Chastain just ahead of him. Chastain has gotten around Nemechek for second. Regan?
Well, Vince, John Hunter Nemechek been quiet on the radio about that truck, but about 3 laps ago, spotter Tony Hirschman came over the radio, gave John Hunter very detailed information about how the other trucks were using the traction compound, how they were running through it, and exactly where they were putting their tires. The lap after that, John Hunter moved up the racetrack. Speed is picking up just a little bit for him since he's done that.
Oh. And here is the pass that Chastain made on John Hunter for second just a moment ago.
Inside. Time stuff. Clear.
And he just passed him right back. And John Hunter Nemechek used the PJ1, turn 1 and 2, built a huge run on exit of turn 2, carried that down the backstretch, drives right by Ross Chastain. He is back to flying again.
Yeah, he got up in it early in the corner, got the car settled up in that traction compound, gets back to the gas, and had a huge run down the back straightaway. He's going to try to do the same thing here to Chase. So, you know, at this point, this is where you rely on your spotter saying, where is he running? What is he doing? do I need to get up there and try to figure it out before it's too late?
Well, they've really closed the gap on the leader, Chase Elliott, under 0.4 of a second now.
Yeah, last lap he was 0.3 of a second faster, so he is coming.
This is going to be a fun battle to watch as Chase moves up a little bit. Not quite as high as John Hunter was, but enough to take his air and give him some dirty air.
And we're in that pit window, so keep an understanding of the fact that we're going to have one more stop as you see teams starting to make those pit stops now as we're in the midst of our longest green flag stretch today, Jamie.
The 99 he saw there just tight in traffic. The call was for right sides only as he's the first taker. I'm hearing our leader Chase Elliott should be coming in about 4 more laps.
So you're going to have a couple groups of trucks here. You're going to have the trucks that pitted with 8 laps to go before the end of the second stage that are going to need fuel before the ones that pitted 10 or so laps later. So as you see their last pit. So you're going to have a couple groups here, and I think you're going to want to stay out here as long as you can, Brad, with as little fall off as you have. I think you want to try to stay out as long as you can.
Ross Chastain has hit pit road. Regan.
Well, Vince, that strong run continues for this team. Right now, early on in runs, that truck's on the splitter just a little bit too much, but after it gets off the splitter, it starts to transition to too tight. He wants more front turn out of the front tires on that racetrack. Otherwise, Ross has been pretty happy and pretty quiet on the radio.
Chastain has run twice this season and has had strong results both times, having another good run again today as his teammate Carson Hocevar is in, and Jamie, Chase Elliott is there as well.
Yeah, well, Ben Rhodes pitted early. It got everybody's attention, including our leader, Chase Elliott. They didn't want to keep him out there too long, so they decided to come a few laps earlier. A 4-tire stop here. Like I said, he's been happy with it. Chandler Smith on the right in as well, chattering the front tires. He did get a track bar adjustment there.
These green flag pit stops, John Hunter Nemechek hasn't made his yet. With under 40 to go here at Texas. We are in the midst of our longest green flag run of the day. I mentioned that earlier, so that could mean that we could continue on under green, or we're due for a caution. One of the two. Depends on how you look at the odds.
Surprised. They all pitted this early.
Back to Jamie.
Austin Hill in the 16 just losing the nose a bit. They've been working on this truck to keep up with the racetrack. Hasn't been terrible. They've made some gains, but still needs help.
Haley Deegan in the 1 as well.
So Vince, the danger of pitting this early is all these trucks that have pitted are now a lap down. So you look at Chase Elliott, who was the leader in the race. He's trapped a lap down. So if a yellow does come out right now, it'll be very hard for him to overcome it. And that's what John Hunter Nemechek is really hoping for and counting on. He's going to look like run this stage long, run this pit cycle long, and see if he can't trap some guys a lap down and take back that track position.
How about it, Regan?
Well, Brad's exactly right. Eric Phillips just came on the radio as soon as the 24 of Chase Elliott peeled off to pit and said, listen, John Hunter, I need you to crank out some really good laps for me right here. They're going to try and leapfrog him by cranking out fast laps right now that'll pay dividends when they finally do pit.
Yeah, and that last lap, he ran a 30.56, almost his fastest lap of the race, compared to Chase Elliott's 30.88. So even on new tires, Chase Elliott is slower right now than John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, that's because of what you see right here. He goes in the corner, 4 tires up in that traction compound.
Grant Infinger coming for his final stop and shaking the truck around, maybe out of gas.
He might be. He might be stumbling a little bit. Might not have had it as full as they needed it to. Jamie?
Grant Enfinger in the 98. Johnny Sauter coming in as well, but Enfinger saying the truck is good. Don't mess with it. You guys were talking about his numbers and jumping back and forth between 2 teams. His numbers are about the same, and he's doing it all with a smile on his face. Great guy all around, having a decent day today.
So only, 8 trucks on the lead lap now?
And John Hunter is flying. He's got clean air. The way it's cycled, there is no one around John Hunter Nemechek right now, and he has got the best air, and he is laying laps down faster than anyone that we've seen almost all day.
Yeah, issue for Haley Deegan here on pit road.
Well, that's unfortunate because she was having such a good day today.
Grabbing lug nuts off another tire. That just looks like a mess, whatever's going on.
How about John Hunter and how many laps he can go? He last pitted on 63. You would think he would be right near the end of his potential run.
Yeah, he's only got 5 or 10 laps left here before he's got to come, but by the looks of it, he's going to run it all the way till it runs out of gas.
Tyler Ankrum is in. Brad, you seem like throughout your course of your career, we've talked about you in this kind of strategy, running while others pit, staying out and trying to make it work.
Yeah, you know, there's a level of comfort that drivers have to different strategies. And, you know, I've always felt like tracks where the tires don't fall off, when you pit too early, you just always find yourself getting caught in different scenarios that you don't have control over. And now sometimes you give up time running along like this, but it's nice to not have to worry about a yellow coming out. It's nice to be able to kind of control your own destiny.
I don't know if you know this about Brad, though. He just likes being different sometimes, too.
yeah, I do, yeah.
When we first started being teammates, he said, you can't be better, Joey, if you're not different.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing I figured out in my life. It's how to be different.
You can be different. It's not always better, but you can be different.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, there's been a lot of Twitter reaction about the two of you in the same booth today. So, you know, between the two of you as teammates, I think you've played very nice.
Yeah, we have. That's good.
We always do. What are you talking about?
Some days nicer than others, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's part of it. Todd Gilliland, great view from his visor cam, working his way through traffic, as you see on the pylon. The last lap pitted by those that are in the top 20. So John Hunter leading the race, but still has to pit, as does Zane Smith, Gilliland, Gray, right on down the list until you get to Chase Elliott.
So John Hunter Nemechek last lap, 30:39. Fastest lap he's ran in the entire race by a tenth of a second. Chase Elliott, who I think had a really fast truck, has pitted. He's running 31:49. So he just lost a second that last lap to John Hunter Nemechek. So this strategy, if he doesn't run out of gas and can completely execute it, should put John Hunter Nemechek in the lead.
And here he comes right here.
So John Hunter Nemechek on pit road for his final stop. Want to make sure no penalties here. Don't get caught speeding, having anybody over the wall too soon. Take care of business without a mistake. And it could lead to his 4th win of the season. Regan Smith is awaiting the John Hunter pit.
Well, maybe a fortunate break right there for John Hunter. Vince, he came on the radio and said, I got to come right now to the pit stall, because that truck sounded like it may have bobbled on fuel just a little bit. As for the handling, he is snug in the middle of 1 and 2. Just needs a little bit of help there. Doesn't want a major balance change, though.
I wouldn't change much. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Absolutely solid stop. Chase Elliott is just now at the start-finish line, so looks like we said, John Hunter Nemechek is going to come out with a sizable lead here.
You know, and they brought up something there about him, you know, stumbling maybe out of gas, you know, before he pitted right there and making a quick decision to come down pit road, which was a great move for John Hunter Nemechek. But also, you know, as a crew chief, you don't have practice. You don't really know what your fuel mileage numbers are sometimes throughout these races if you don't have practice. So, you know, I think that's why you see that kind of catch some guys off guard every now and again right now.
Tanner Gray has come to pit road as well. Now Todd Gilliland comes. Zane Smith is out front, and he still has to pit again as well. Here comes Gilliland. Been a strong day for the 38. Regan.
Strong day, Vince, but they've been struggling with rear grip just a little bit. In particular, entry of the corners. Everything they've done has hurt the center of the corners for this truck. Right now, the rear grip just came in at the very end of that run, but he's still too tight in the middle of the corners.
Zane Smith is your leader, but still has to come to pit road for that final stop. We're going to go to break, but you won't miss a thing. Going to stay side by side from Texas. Back at Texas Motor Speedway, the Camping World Truck Series. 20 laps remaining with John Hunter Nemechek leading Chase Elliott. There's a look at Nemechek in that 4 truck. And Chase Elliott a little under 2 seconds back. Elliott, the defending Cup Series champ, making his first Camping World Truck Series start of the season. And there you saw him go by in the red and black number 24. You know, the impact of the pandemic on youth sports has been significant, and while recovery has started in some communities, kids most in need are still on the sidelines. We encourage you to visit goodsports.org to learn how you can help Fox Sports and Good Sports restore play for at-risk youth and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Please check it out, goodsports.org. John Hunter Nemechek just turned 24 years old yesterday. What a great way to celebrate his birthday. I was visiting with him this morning down in the garage area, and he had pictures on his phone of his daughter Aspen, who was born on March 31st, and how proud he is, as you, Joey and Brad, know, a new dad for the very first time, how exciting that is.
It changes everything.
Yes.
Everything you've ever known about life changes as soon as you have kids. That is for sure.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
You learn dad jokes.
Yes.
No doubt. Got a great battle here with the 16, and Austin Hill making a big run here. Just trying to see if we can take a look back at it. Say he's going to get hit from behind that right rear quarter panel. Is that Austin Self, I think it was.
Just a little bit of contact at those speeds down the.
Well, we saw that happen earlier.
Straight away
with Stuart Friesen.
That's
right. Similar
right.
situation down the back stretch. Didn't end so pretty though.
No, it did not. But all these guys are battling right in that 5th place range, 4th, 5th.
Yeah, this is such a great view of seeing them move around, trying to find runs.
Through that lap traffic.
3 trucks moving up. Everyone's just trying to keep momentum.
And behind them, we got Ben Rhodes trying to claw his way back into the top 5. Just a few seconds back. He wants these guys to race each other real hard, so maybe he can catch them.
Yeah, Infinger in that 98 is running 4th. And Austin Hill is 5th. And Chase Elliott continues to chase John Hunter Nemechek, and the lap times and the margin of deficit for Chase Elliott as he hounds the 4 of Nemechek.
Yeah, it's definitely increasing, and I got to give a lot of credit here to John Hunter Nemechek and specifically his crew chief, Eric Phillips. Great pit call. He was faster than Chase Elliott the whole time this stage, but he needed to get in front of him. He didn't have that clean air. So they made the pit call there. They ran the stage long, or the cycle long, and that was really big as Ben Rhodes has made contact with the wall down the front stretch here. He's limping along, contact on the right side. See if that doesn't bring out a caution.
What happened there?
Still green, but you see the scuffed paint there on the right rear of the 99 of Rhodes. How about it, Jamie? How significant is it?
Yeah, he got in the wall there, and he said the right front has blown. It's hard to see, but yet you could tell there he's got to come down pit road. Bummer. You guys were just talking about him fighting and clawing his way to finish in the top 5.
Well, and it's been a career year for Ben Rhodes. In fact, he's had only 1 finish outside the top 10 all season long, and that was a 16th place finish earlier this season at Atlanta, but won the first 2 races of the season and has been one of the great stories of the 2021 campaign here in the Camping World Truck Series, along with the driver of this truck, the 4 John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, we talked about Ben Rhodes before the race started. His average finish going into Texas has been 6.2. I mean, that is definitely rocking.
You had to say that, Joey, didn't you?
Well, it's not going to be as good this race, but it still says a lot about the season, not having any bad luck like he just had up to this point.
Nemechek continues to lead with 12 to go, and second place Chase Elliott about 2.5 seconds behind. Ross Chastain down from the Cup Series, running 3rd.
You see Chase just up there in that traction compound. Ross Chastain up there as well. That's where the grip is. The track temp is hot as it's been all day, 135 degrees. Hottest truck race we've had all year, Bradley.
Absolutely, and he's done a great job managing it. Ross has, just running a smooth, smart race for that Nice team.
Three-time winner in the Camping World Truck Series is Chastain, and I know the Nice folks always thrilled to have him in the truck any chance they get him. Camping World 10 to go at Texas Motor Speedway. John Hunter Nemechek seeking his 4th win of the season. We showed you the numbers on Grant Infinger earlier this season and what he's done in splitting his season between the 98 and the 9, and another stellar run today inside the top 5 here with just under 10 to go.
And Austin Hill just behind him in the 16. These guys have been battling back and forth through the 4th place position. Looks like it's settled in a little bit with Grant taking it and starting to drive away. Behind them, Chandler Smith. He needed a big run today. You know, he's been right outside that bubble, and with Johnny Sauter not having a great day today, he's going to gain some more points. It could be really big for him, Vince.
Todd Gilliland out front for 8 laps earlier today, and they've shown speed again today. It was reported down from pit road. Regan Smith indicating they've had some issues just finding grip in the track and in that truck, but it's been another solid run for the 38. As for the 21 of Zane Smith, maybe not contending for the win today, but he has led a dozen laps. Tyler Ankrum, another one of those drivers fighting and clawing to try to get himself above the playoff cut line.
Yeah, just is going to chip out some more points here today on Johnny Sauter. This is only going to get tighter if we finish the way we're running right now for that playoff cut battle, because both Zane Smith, or Chandler Smith, I should say, and Tyler Ankrum are just gaining points on that cutoff line, and this is going to be a really good battle all the way to the playoff start.
You got Johnny Sauter, don't forget him, in 13th right there as well on the cut line.
Yeah, good run for Tanner Gray today, also in that 15 truck.
Yeah, all of those DGR or David Gilliland Racing trucks have looked good at certain points today. You know, Haley Deegan had a good run going. She had some issues here on pit road. Not sure exactly what they were, but all 3 have had some strong moments in the race today.
So I'm watching this track as it, you know, we said the track temp's 135 degrees right now. It's very warm here in Texas. Tires are starting to fall off. Cars are searching around. This traction compound has become the dominant lane. You see all these trucks are up there. I like the way this has come in. You know, we talked about early in the race, it's the place you didn't want to be. Now you got to be there. But when you got to work traffic like these two are, you just got to find wherever you can go. This is going to be a good run. Zane Smith getting underneath Todd Gilliland here. And they got that lap car to deal with.
Inside quarter. He's there, bumper. He's there. He's going to go in deep here, bumper. In line with you tight.
That's for 7th. Smith's going to get it.
It's a nice pass, smart, very smart. Boxed him out here. This is like a NBA rebound here. Boxed him out a little bit under the hoop and drives away.
You know a lot about basketball.
Yeah, not very much.
Pretty big baller?
Yeah, not very much, but I do know that part. And I know I'm not very good at it. There's plenty of YouTube videos to attest.
There's no slam dunks coming on this side of the booth, all right?
Yeah, Vince, you know, you're the Indiana guy. You know the hoops. But
that's exactly right. But Joey, I think that was extremely cruel of you to bring that up to your teammate there, Brad.
What are friends for, you know?
With friends like this, who needs enemies, guys?
I'm just smart enough not to have that stuff on camera for me. I can't say I'm any better.
No problem for John Hunter so far with 3 to go. You know, John Hunter, speaking of friends, was telling me that, you know, last year he often bummed a plane ride from Kyle Busch on the way to the Cup races. And through the course of those plane rides, they ended up having conversations about John Hunter's future. And those heart-to-heart talks eventually led to the possibility of John Hunter driving for Kyle Busch. And now that has come to fruition. And look at what that has done for his career. Certainly giving John Hunter Nemechek a shot in the arm back here in the Camping World Truck Series, and giving him an opportunity next week in the 54 Xfinity car. Joe Gibbs.
Absolutely. Well, you talked about a shot in the arm, but I think he just took a shot in the gut there when that 3 truck almost ran up into him in turn 1 and 2. You're leading the race, driving away. That is the last thing you want to see. But he has certainly earned his opportunity here on this final lap to get his shot at the NASCAR Xfinity Series level, Vince.
John Hunter Nemechek, it's his hashtag here for wins, and he has certainly done it. Romco, his sponsor, with a couple of hundred employees, here in the grandstands today, and they are all rooting on and cheering John Hunter Nemechek, the winner at Texas.
Congrats, everyone. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Toyota. That's how you get it done.
Just a dominant run. I mean, he was the fastest truck almost the whole race. Ran really smart in traffic, and his crew chief here, Eric Phillips, excellent pit call to help make sure he cycled to the lead and drove away.
That was a very fast truck. I tell you what, that thing was rocking and rolling that last run. Once he kind of figured out that top side in 1 and 2, it seemed like that was the game-changing moment for John Hunter in this race, and he started laying down some serious laps.
Hey, come put a show on for these Romco people right in front of us.
Yeah, he knows those Romco employees and fans are right there in front of him, and they're going to enjoy this burnout. 10th career win for John Hunter Nemechek. He gets it done at Texas. Celebrating in style, John Hunter Nemechek, win number 10 of his Camping World Truck Series career, and matching that number on the truck with his 4th win of the season. First time he's taken it to victory lane here at Texas Motor Speedway. It's a doubleheader day here on FS1 and NASCAR. Coming up next, the Xfinity Series right here. Don't change the channel. Catch the rising stars of the Xfinity Series battling it out right here at Texas Motor Speedway. Coming up next on FS1. Down to the winner with Regan.
Well, John Hunter Nemechek gets his helmet off finally. Take a bow. A little bit of a throwback to your boss there, Kyle Busch. John Hunter, a dominant performance out of this truck, in particular at the end. Are you guys really starting to make a statement with this 4 team right now?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I feel like we've been making a statement all year, Egan. I feel like we're one of the favorites every time that we show up to the racetrack. And I can't say enough about Eric Phillips, Adam, Jimmy, Steve, Darren, Tyler, Rick, our truck driver, everyone, the pit crew, everyone back at KBM as well, Fab Shop, Machine Shop, Chassis Shop. Everyone does so good with building our trucks, and I'm just lucky enough to be able to be behind the wheel. It's amazing to get win number 4 here. I haven't won with Romco equipment on board yet in my career, so finally we were able to get them a win. There's 250 of their employees here today, so huge shout out to them as well as the fans, and sadly Taylor and Aspen are back home, but we'll be celebrating tonight.
Thanks, John Hunter. Congratulations, Jamie.
Elliott gave it a hard-fought effort there, brought it home second, your first Truck Series race of the year. You told me straight out in pre-race, I'm not good here in a Cup car, so did you take anything from this race that maybe help you later on tomorrow in the All-Star race?
Yeah, unfortunately, felt like I was right back in the same boat I always get myself in here, so but I appreciate A-Shot coming on board, Chevrolet, everybody at GMS let me come drive their truck. It's really solid. John Hunter got better, I think, when we moved up into the VHT. And he did a good job, making time after we pitted and then getting on and off pit road. So congrats to him and their team. And we'll, try to learn. I still don't feel great here. And like I said, I felt like I pushed myself in the same box that I do in the Cup car too. So, we'll go back to work and try to be better tomorrow.
All right, led 45 laps today, Vince.
Indeed, and there was a portion of this race where I thought that Chase Elliott was going to be the guy you were going to have to beat. It ended up being John Hunter Nemechek with some great race strategy from crew chief Eric Phillips. That's why he's the all-time winningest crew chief in Truck Series history. Kept John Hunter out long enough to build up that lead. And you see that as we look at these playoff standings, Joey and Brad, Johnny Sauter went from the bubble to 7 points underneath the cut line.
Yeah, definitely not the day he wanted. Couple different issues there, and a great run for Chandler Smith. Austin Wayne, Tower Anchor, both had decent runs to just continue tightening up that points gap. It's going to be a great playoff run here.
It is indeed. 4 races remaining in the regular season, and certainly enjoyed having you guys along with us today. What's your takeaway for each of you from what we saw this afternoon?
I was able to take away a couple things. One with what Chase Elliott just said. He ran this race to try to get better in the Cup race on Sunday. He's saying these trucks have a lot of similarities to what we run in the Cup races these days. Hopefully he didn't learn a whole bunch. I got to race against him. And also, John Hunter Nemechek can do one heck of a burnout. I saw it here on the front straightaway. Amazing burnout. A+ in my book.
I think the pit strategy in the PJ1, great pit strategy by Eric Phillips. We know the 4-truck, John Hunter Nemechek, has been one of the fastest all season long. They proved that, but they were stuck in that dirty air. Eric Phillips, as crew chief, with a great call, a brave call, and John Hunter Nemechek executed it. Together, that brought him to the win.
Yeah, a lot of terrific runs today and some great storylines as we make our way toward the end of the regular season. John Hunter Nemechek, of course, winning for the 4th time this season. But, hey, also a tip of the cap to Josh Berry. Took that 25 truck to an 11th place finish today. For Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Jamie Little, and Regan Smith, I'm Vince Welch. Thanks for joining us from Texas. Let's go to our Charlotte studio and Shannon Spake.